Well, hello there. Oh man, I'm here. I was running very, very late, and I have literally just walked in the door and had to reset the internet because it was super lag, and we are praying to God that it's not a continuing problem. But it was super lag, and anyway, I got here, had to reset, had to get everything set up, get everything turned on, and here we are. Oh man, it's like my pants were on fire the whole time trying to get this all done, and here we are. And not really happy with the camera angle, but it is what it is. Uh, First thing I wanna show you. Check out my new logo here. Brandon already got it set up, and yes, that is the new logo. It's a little better than Fat Chad. It still it still shows my cigar and my drinky drink here, and so I'm pretty pleased with that. And Brandon has got it posted out most everywhere. Now I got to get some new shirts made and just see what happens from there. I'm getting some new merch also, and we'll have that available as well as soon as it is. I'll let you guys know. But for right now, this is kind of where we're at with it, and hopefully, you guys take a look and see what's up. If you're looking for stuff to do with Chad Wade, you can check out chadwadetv.com, and you can go from consulting to merch to books to read and things of that nature. We also have a tremendous amount of resources on there as well. Also, the Discord. Don't forget about the Discord, everybody. The Discord's still up and running, and we are making some progress with it. And we are about to do some different stuff with that as well, and make it a little more accessible. But we've got something that's going to help us with the security issues that we've had in the past. And so we are about at the state where we're going to be able to open it up, and more people are going to be able to interact with each other. And when that happens, I will get online. So go ahead and join the Discord. You don't have to get past the paywall, but go ahead and join the Discord. And when everybody can conversate, then we'll let you know. And then you can, get involved with the whole conversation there, and we can build that community back up as well. Um, we are seeing a whole lot of movement in the wholesale as well. So if you're needing some new merch, we're not carrying everything, but we are carrying a lot of things. So unswholesale.com. We've got several things over there, a lot of new stuff. Today we had a tremendous amount of stuff come in, and so that will be up online really soon. And so hey, Dave, how you doing, Dave? How you doing? Beth, of course, was number one, first in line as always. She never misses. We're very, very proud that she always shows up. David, good to see you too, bud. I'm glad you could make it. And but yeah, the wholesale, unswholesale.com. Check it out. I got a lot of new things. Brandon's putting things up as fast as he humanly can. It looks like he got a new tray up today too. We've got a lot of water pipes up. Get it before Donnie puts the tariffs on China. And I don't know where that's going to go, but we have not raised our prices because we haven't incurred any tariffs. So there's really no reason for us to raise the prices. Don't be fooled. A lot of people have already raised their prices, but it's because of anticipation, or they're just greedy fucks that are out there. And that does tend to be like that. Okay, so let's get going. We're 5 minutes into this. Commercials over. Commercials over. All right, I'm tired of all that. So as we know, the states are starting to look at some things, and they're having some issues with hemp. As marijuana grows in popularity. What I've always said is that when marijuana is legal, hang on, I got to get it where everybody can say it, legal. What ends up always happening is that the marijuana overtakes hemp. And so when that happens, man, hemp tends to go away. So just letting you know, If you're not already seeing that in your state, you may see it in your state. So let me show you one here, man, from MJ Biz Daily. They've got a hell of an article here. It's called Texas House Passes Near Total Ban on Hemp Derived THC. Now, that came out today. So this is pretty up to date, right? And so Texas estimated that $5.5 billion market in hemp derived THC is in mortal danger, which means death, after the state house approved a blanket ban on intoxicating products. The ban pushes for Dan Patrick, Lieutenant Governor, and approved by the state Senate in March, passed the House by 86-53 vote on Wednesday night, which was last night. Through a final House vote on Senate Bill 3 is scheduled for Thursday, that's today. It's expected to pass, and the ban is likely to be signed into law by old Greg Abbott, according to the Houston Chronicle. We are banning high, Republican State Rep Tom Oliverson said, according to the Dallas Morning News. If it gets you high, it's not legal anymore. Ooh, like alcohol. Dismantling the legal hemp industry in Texas, in Kentucky as well. So here you go. The Texas Hemp Business Council laminated the bill, saying in a statement that the measure dismantles the legal hemp industry and ignores the voices of small businesses, farmers, veterans, consumers across the state who rely on hemp-derived products for their livelihood and well-being. Despite overwhelming testimony and clear data demonstrating the safety and economic value of federally legal hemp-derived cannabinoids, I really got that word down now, by the way. Lawmakers have chosen a path that eliminates an entire sector of the economy, one that generates 4.3 billion in retail sales, 53,300 jobs, and 268 million in tax revenue. Holy shit. If you could just throw that kind of money away, I just need a couple of them. I just need a couple of mil. That's all I need, man. I'm straight. At this age, I'm pretty well. Estimate the size of the Texas market vary, but annual revenue from as many as 8,500 retailers. Now that's just in that state. Likely exceeds 5.5 billion, according to an analysis from the Oregon-based Whitney Economics. It's not yet clear what recourse hemp interest in the state might have, or whether litigation would temporarily block implementation of the ban if Abbott signs it into law. It probably would start an injunction, but it's going to cost a hell of a lot of money. After years of hemp-derived THC drinks, gummies, and smokable flower, remember me telling you that this was going to be the problem, proliferating across Texas and creating what's understood to be the biggest U.S. market for hemp-derived THC products, Patrick introduced what's considered to be one of the country's strictest bans. That follows other states that have moved to close the loophole created by the 2018 Farm Bill. Texas move to ban intoxicating hemp products via the state legislature follows Kentucky's. I'm really just stuck on what Kentucky's done here. California's Gavin Newsom emergency ban on hemp-derived THC imposed last fall. I don't think it's working because I know people are still ordering it and shipping it to these retailers. Of the country's biggest market for hemp, only Florida remains. Their lawmakers failed to pass any regulation this year, 1 year after Ron DeSantis vetoed a de facto ban on intoxicating hemp products. Texas new law would allow for some non-intoxicating products containing CBD, according to the text of the bill. However, the law effectively outlaws products with Delta 8 THC and Delta 9 THC, massages the definition of THC in the state to close a so-called THCA loophole that merchants in some other states used to sell marijuana under the claim that it's federally compliant hemp. So apparently, you all, it's they're talking about trouble for the entire U.S. hemp sector is predicted. Added to the actions in other states, Texas ban threatens the nascent hemp-derived THC industry nationwide. I think I remember saying this was going to happen. Everybody, I think I remember saying that. And this is from edibles.com, which launched earlier this year, so it doesn't sound like they're going to have too long to be up and running. Senate Bill 3 may aim to address a real consumer health issue in Texas, but the solution is proposed is not only misguided, it's cure worse than the disease. Well, of course he's going to say that because that's their job. That's what that's what they sell. Okay. This isn't a Texas issue, it's a national one. The president said here will send shockwaves across the country. Well, yeah, yes, it will. I totally agree, y'all. I totally agree that it will send these shockwaves. And remember, y'all, that all came out of MJ. I'm sorry, yeah, MJ Biz Daily. It all came from them. So that I didn't. You look that up and you can get that. Brandon could put the I see where he's put the article up there where you guys can read it for yourselves. You can also follow that through that link and see where that leads to. It's a whole lot, man. It's a whole lot to look at, but it's not just them. There's, other states involved. And although that is a big monster, don't get me wrong, that's a beast in and of itself. But as you're going to see, that they're not the only one, because this next one, let me tell you a little bit about it. This is about Nevada, and I'm sorry, this is about Alabama. Hang on, I think. Let me read this. Yeah, Nevada. Nevada Assembly passes resolution urging Congress to reschedule psychedelics and protect supervised adult use of the substance. Now listen, boys and girls, keep it real. If they, Nevada is very forward thinking, and now whether this gets pulled off this way or not, I wouldn't look for that to be something that the whole country pulls off. I think they'll, there could be a whole lot of other issues here. I hate to absolutely think that people's going to be running around willy nilly about stuff of this nature, but let's talk about it. Let's see what they got to say. It says the Nevada Assembly has amended and advanced a Senate passed joint resolution calling on Congress to reschedule certain psychedelics. Now, look, man, let's keep it real. I have said repeatedly, my choice of anything is mushrooms. I absolutely love them. I would stay on. I love them things, man. I love these things, and that's no kidding about it. They are my choice when it comes down to it. Uh, but on the other hand, I would not want to stay on these things and walk around and try to drive or anything of that nature. And it's no bueno, man. No bueno. On the chamber floor on Thursday, lawmakers voted 36-6 to advance the measure, SJR 10 from Senate Rochelle Neat. I don't want to butcher that name, but anyway, which now returns to the Senate to consider changes made in assembly. Okay, remember that they were just crafting the bill. Now it has to be put out there for a real vote. The resolution cites research demonstrating the therapeutic potential of psychedelics in the treatment of serious mental health conditions and calls on the federal government to reschedule psilocybin, psilocin, DMT, mescaline, MDMA, and this other word, this ibogaine, to a schedule that better reflects the therapeutic value. Now listen. Now, what they have to do is reschedule this so that they're not going to law it and make it lawful. They're going to reschedule it so that research can be officially done federally instead of the way it is now, because it's not possible to do under the scheduling they have today, much like marijuana. And as I said repeatedly, they're not going to reschedule that, even though Crazy Joe said they was. They're not. They haven't. They won't. It is what it is. So, especially, the DEA makes so much money off of it, then and the government also makes quite a bit of money off forfeiture laws that really just goof you up if you're caught with it. And especially any kind of, if you're messing around with it in any way, if you're peddling it in any way, and they can prove it on a federal level, they will take any and everything you got, right down to your child's bank account that you watch over. They'll do it. So I'm just saying. It also points out that there have been federal developments of the issue, including the FDA designation of certain psychedelics as breakthrough therapies, and research that's being funded to explore these substances as at the Department of Defense, DoD, and U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. The measure urges Congress to increase funding for further research, establishing a streamlined process for approval and conducting research with psychedelic compounds, and rescheduling psilocybin and the whole gambit there under the CSA, which is the Controlled Substance Act. Okay. Further, it calls for the establishment of legal protection against federal prosecution for individuals and entities complying with state law concerning the supervised adult use of psychedelic compounds, and require state to enter research partnerships with the Attorney General under the Controlled Substance Act to study the public health outcome of such programs. Well, yeah, it's probably not going to work for the feds, especially if it hasn't been rescheduled. Until it is, they're not going to do any kind of study anyway, and no doctor is going to oversee it because they can lose their license at the federal level, which means they're not going to do anything with that. Days ahead of the floor passage, Assembly members approved a brief committee amendment that clarifies that the resolution seeks protection for those using psychedelics, specifically under supervision of a facilitator. So does that mean they're going to be hospitalized or interned in a facility to do this? I don't know of any doctor that's going to risk his license for this. I really don't. Under the change submitted by the senator, the proposed new now urge Congress to protect individuals and entities complying with state and local laws concerning supervised adult use. You can say all that you want to, but in the end, the feds are going to do what they want to. They don't give a damn what you think, especially at the state level. Federal law supersedes state law in anything. They don't care about your agreements and amendments. They don't care about that. That language was in the measure as introduced, but an earlier amendment had previously removed the word supervised from the text, which the latest amendment now adds back. So that means you are going to be hospitalized or interned into a facility to do this. So you're not going to be doing that at home. There's not going to be people overseeing you. You're not going to go to facilities to do that in, because that could take forever and that would be expensive. And the insurance, good God, the insurance. The new amendment was adopted by members of the Assembly Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections, which advanced the measure on a voice vote during a work session earlier this month. Hey, honestly, y'all, this kind of sounds like a lot of double talk and jive. It just sounds like a lot of double talk jive where they're going to try to pass a bill to have you supervised. It's really where they want to reschedule so that they can do research. And because right now the research they're doing is very unlawful, unless it's done by grant and through some kind of partnership with the DEA. And that's few and far between, y'all. And I mean, what I'm reading here sounds like a lot of double talk and assurances, that they're going to be safe and nobody's going to be prosecuted. They can't tell you that. That's a load of shit. So I'm kind of out on that, man. I don't see any reason to even talk about that any further. Again, looks like double talk, and I don't even know what to think about that. I have no idea how to feel about that. So, I mean, what about you guys? I mean, do you are you kind of into that? I mean, are psychedelics something that you think that that it's cool? Is the three-letter agency try to buy time to pat? Yeah, yeah, I'd say the FDA really is, man. In a way, I mean, I think that if they could do it in the underground lab, and that's exactly what they're doing. Hey, and they're going to make a peel for it, right? And then they're going to give it, and it'll be in a capsulated form at first, and that'll be how they study it. Beth, you're exactly right. And then they're going to hand it over, I don't know, to Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson and Johnson, the usual suspects that you got the Rona vaccine from, and you see how that worked out. But it's only going to be for big pharma is going to be the only people that's going to get this. You're not going to get the raw and uncut, pick it up out of your fish tank and pull it out off your cakes of vermiculite and brown rice. You're exactly right. Big pharma is going to hand that off to companies that they know can dispense it properly, and so that it'll be safe to use, like the Rona vaccines. Yeah, no. So, you hear that? Exactly. Exactly. Said no one. No one. But anyway, regardless, it is what it is. And Beth is exactly right. That is how it goes. Yeah. Yeah. Non-organic from pharma, not pharma. Exactly. Exactly, man. That's exactly right, man. That deserves a round of applause for sure. And but I don't know what to think about them, man. I mean, they're awful. Every one of them. They will do anything they can for treatment, not cure, because there's no money in cure. There's never any money in cure. There's only in money in treatment. And then of course the insurance won't want to pay it, so you'll have to pay out of pocket, because it's not federally legal and only in this state, and it only be in appeal form. Forget about it, man. Just forget about it. It just, I mean, it'd just be another magic that they can give you a pill for, man. And I'm not about it. I'm trying to get off these pills that I'm on already, and I don't want any more part of them. And as soon as I can, I'll be thrilled with it. But it is what it is today. So okay, so let's read this last one, man. It's not a favorite for me, Alabama is kicking hemp's ass once again, and so let's read about that. Governor Kay here, she looks like a very forward-thinking individual. Signs controversial Alabama hemp regulation into law. Governor Kay here Wednesday signed a controversial bill aimed at regulating consumable hemp products into law. HB 445, sponsored by Rep. Andy Witt. He's a Republican. Wonder why all these Republicans just don't like hemp at all, man. But anyway, face strong opposition from the hemp industry, which claims the bill overregulates federally legal products. Again, that's why we have 50 states. It's a states' rights issue, and the feds aren't going to touch that. They made it federally legal so that each state could regulate it in its own way, but by the federal guideline. That's really what happened there. And it said the Alabama Policy Institute, a conservative think tank, which argued it did not regulate the products enough. think tank. Jesus. Gina was a spokesman for Ivy, Governor Kay there, confirmed that the governor signed the bill in a text message on Wednesday, but did not provide further comment. Witt said after the governor's signature that it was an easy bill for him to sponsor, but a hard bill to pass. It was hard because I took shots from both sides, saying that it was difficult to listen to the stretches of truth, such as claims from API that it would legalize recreational marijuana, or from the industry that it was a complete ban. Well, there's never any happy medium here, man. And ultimately, that is what's going to happen. They are going to regulate the OMJ, and they are not going to give a damn about hemp. And all hemp products have to go first so they can get marijuana tax, not sales tax. And that's what they would be getting if they did it any other way. And that's just how it is. Okay. And it is putting guardrails on an unregulated and unlicensed products in the state of Alabama's that's preying on our youth. The kids, oh God, the kids. Witt said. Messages seeking comment were left with API and Molly Cole, a lobbyist for the Alabama Hemp and Vape Association, who indicated that litigation was being considered. Well, I have been in kind of contact with some dudes and chicks over there in Alabama, and here's what they tell me. This lobbyist wants $400,000 to get involved and further for the litigation. Also, some of your well-known hemp sellers, vendors, manufacturers of high-grade product have offered to put a maximum of $5,000 per person, per entity. So you start doing the math, how far that's got to go. 80 groups, 80 people, 80, product, 80 vendors. Jesus. I'm sorry, it's not 80, is it? Yeah, it is. That's a lot. And that's all they're going to pony up. They're not going to pony up anymore. So they want the retailers to come with it. Maybe even some of the wholesalers, in that state should pony up. I don't know. Some of the cash and carries. But they're usually the usual suspects, so they don't want to pony up anything. So it's kind of is what it is. So a lot of businesses down there are about to be hit with the football bat. The legislation will require testing and labeling for all consumable hemp products and caps at 10 milligrams per individually wrapped product and 40 milligrams per package. It will require the Alcoholic Beverage Control, the ABC, board to license retailers of these products, restrict retail establishments selling hemp products, and impose an excise tax on consumable hemp products. So again, here we go again, everybody. We don't have to make it illegal. We can just tax the living shit out of it. That's just the way it goes. Okay. The bill also prohibits sales to minors. Hello. Yeah. It bans smokable hemp products and imposes restrictions on online sales and direct delivery. Witt maintains that his efforts is aiming at reducing youth access. The kids. I got to protect the kids. Oh, God, the kids. Of these products, saying that the industry has operated largely unchecked. My God. Representatives of the hemp industry said the bill's language was vague. It sounded pretty spot on to me what they were talking about, and have suggested that litigation will follow. Lawmakers, business owners, patients, lobbyists have all expressed an uncertainty about the legislation. He went on to say that the bill also bans hemp-derived vapor products, but that it's not clearly defined in the bill. So if it's not, may not be, they'll have to amend that bill to fix that. It's not clear if the bill would ban CBD, a non-psychoactive cannabinoid found in hemp. The bill explicitly bans smokable hemp, so no more pre rolls, no more joints, no more blunts products, and certain psychoactive cannabinoids, but defined consumable hemp products broadly as any finished product intended for animal or human, so no more dog treats, consumption that contains any part of the hemp plant or its derivative. So no CBD, none. None. According to the bill, any smokable hemp product, not limited to plant product or raw hemp material that is marketed to consumers as hemp cigarettes, hemp cigars, hemp joints, hemp buds, hemp flowers, hemp leaves, hemp ground hemp flowers, or any variation of these terms to include any product that contains a cannabinoid, whether psychoactive or not. And apparently, the legislation provides an opportunity for hemp business leaders to pivot into the product that they are approved here in Alabama that can truly help Alabama citizens. Wow. That's a lot. All I hear is the government cash register overflowing. Amen. 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 That's exactly right. David, a very forward thinking individual. That's exactly right. Was Texas already talked about? Yes, we started with the whole thing with Texas, and it's let's see here. Hang on. They did a near total ban, a near total ban. Terrible, terrible, awful thing, in all honesty. But everybody, if we're keeping it real, I just kept saying Kentucky because I just kept knowing, the bullshit we got going on here. Kentucky has a low dose hemp, much like Alabama. Only, we're going to live under that starting in 26. So we have until then. But I mean, they don't even have marijuana here in this state ready to go to sale, although it is very legal. And apparently they are selling a hell of a lot of cards. But I mean, why are you selling cards if there's nothing to buy? That don't even make sense to me. And apparently, flour's not lawful. So if you go across state line and you bring it here and you get caught with it, it doesn't protect you with it. So I mean, kind of is what it is when it comes down to it. So I mean, all you'd be able to bring back is gummies and tinctures and vape product, and that's it. And if you're caught with bud, that's your ass. I'm telling you, card or not, that's your ass, because we don't sell it here in Kentucky and they didn't make that part of it lawful. So I can see a whole lot of issues coming up with this, man, that kind of scares the living hell out of me, especially for our industry. And I think this is just the beginning of the wave I think it's going to spread out from Texas and go in all directions. The very forward thinking of us all are really going to screw the rest of us up, and I find that very undermining. And so I truthfully think, man, the strap in, everybody, brace for impact, because it is going to happen. It's going to be ugly. I don't know when. I don't know, how much and what's going to happen with it. But I do see some real problems with what we're doing, and it really does bug me how things are. And I'm really hoping that some people get their act together and start acting correctly. Uh, because as of right now, man, I, I don't have a whole lot of hope for this. You know, I kind of look forward to going back to the old school head shops and, where there's, a consumable smoking product such as glass and I look forward to the water pipe sales again. I look forward to the glass sales again. I really do like that part of the industry. I loved going to the shows when you could see all these brands out there and they had great big displays of it. when you go to the show now, it's the disposables and vape and kratom and 7 products, and then of course there's the bullshit THC flower, TCA flower, and all this, and it just gets old. You're not even seeing the glamour of what the shows once was. Now it just feels like a bunch of whores out there that know nothing about the industry and don't even care, man. And like when I talk to them, hey, what are you going to do when this happens? Oh, there'll be another product. We're not even sweating it. Every time I hear that, that makes me want to cringe. I hate hearing that because I just feel like it's a bunch of whores out there who are just whoring the next product. Because I know damn good and well 7.0 is dangerous. I know it. And I hate the very thought that we could get involved in that and we could start seeing people getting hurt from it because it is so deadly. And and there's no real testing done with it, and it's synthesized crap, and it's just way too heavy for what it is. Now, could you sell a whole lot of it, make a lot of money? You bet. And could it cause an extreme amount of problems? You bet. You bet. They're only there for the money, and that's kind of their attitude. Well, that's exactly right, man. Beth, you're exactly right. Uh, they don't care about the industry. They don't care about your customers. They're there just for the money. And I mean, I literally heard that from people inside of the industry that are like kind of big names and players in the game, and they're Delta people, and they don't even care if it goes away. These, especially there, there's a, I heard a guy, I was talking to him, I said, well, what are you going to do when 7.0 screws up the whole kratom industry? Well, don't worry about that, man, because we've already got something else. Well, what is it? And so he tells me what it is. And I says, well, that's just 7.0, in disguise. He said, yeah, exactly. Exactly. 7.0, but it is, it's a 7.0 alternative that if they get rid of that one, and he goes, and then we've got this product right here. He showed me at the show two turns away from the original. So they're not even going to release those until the first one gets banned. And he's got them. He's already got them built. He showed me the packaging. He showed me everything. He showed me the paperwork of it, and they're totally lawful in every single way. And they've got alternatives too deep so far. And that was then. What's he got now? A dead customer is not a return customer, even when the next best thing comes around. Amen. Hey, there's Tip Top. Hey, evening, my friend. Evening. Yeah, Beth, you're exactly right, man. Dead customers don't spend any kind of money. It really kills the vibe of the store, and it makes everybody feel like shit. And you should feel like shit if you're selling poison to your customers. You know, the more they ban this hemp and the more they do like whole blankets to kill industries. I talked to a store telling me, hey man, do you know anybody who would buy anything here in Alabama? What? And he's like, yeah, man, I don't think we can make any money without hemp products. And I'm like, well, why, man? I said, you've got glass, you got grinders. Yeah, man, but it's not going to make any money. It's not gonna make him money. I don't believe that, but I don't know his situation. I don't know his nut to crack. And I said, well, I gave him a couple of options of where to go, where to list his business, and Biscat will let him list their business, and they'll talk to him about it, and they'll help him sell it. But I mean, you're gonna make pennies on the dollar. So I mean, if you don't own your building, you own a lease. Who gives a shit? That's just the way things are. Tip Top says, sorry, late was dinner time. Did you see all the disposable vapes confiscated in Chicago by the FDA today? Well, I'm hearing a lot about it, man. In all honesty, I was looking at an article earlier about it, and I don't know the exact facts of it, but I do know that they apparently rolled in and just snatched them up. And so it was a great big roundup. They called it a roundup of vapes. Oh God. David, I'm in the same mindset. All the weird blends, kratom, kava, 7O, B, HHC. It's too much of for the consumer to understand shit. Almost too much for me to fully comprehend. Why would I ever sell anything that isn't clean and that I can easily educate everyone on? Well, 7O you can't. 7O is damn near impossible to educate them on. They just know how it feels. And really and truly, they're just one step away from heroin with it, and that's what scares me about it. Really, that scares me. It's not always about just getting a ton of money. Morals have to be retained. Yeah. And I mean, at what point do you say to yourself, money means more to me than people? And I mean, when me and Brandon were working the stores, man, we literally knew those people because we had been talking to them every single weekend at the flea market, and then we were talking to them damn near every single day at the store. You couldn't convince these people to buy 5 or 6 wraps at one time because they said if they had them, they would use them all at one time. So they came in every single day to get them. And it is just the most, you got to know these people, man. Like at one time, Brandon could pull the wrap off the back wall and he could have it on the counter, and his guy would walk in damn near within the same 15 minutes every single day, and he'd have his money. Thanks, Brandon, and hand it to him and leave. And they didn't even talk. And it was like they was boys. And I'm like, how did you know? He goes, every day, same time, every day. And I remember it, man. I remember that guy coming in like that. Dave says, exactly. I asked point blank questions to even the reps in the business, and they cannot explain it to me. Instantly turn off. Yeah, working with exactly. Because if they can't tell you what they've got, how can they expect you to do it, man? How can they expect you to sell it? And how do you educate your customer if your rep can't tell you what it is? And to be honest, there is a 7.0 in Kratom. It's a very, very minute amount. And what they've done with Kratom is they have synthesized this out and hooked what only can be called an amplifier to it so that you really rock out with this shit and nod out. And you're so high, you're higher than Hootie Brown. I'm showing my age when I say that. And it just really doesn't make sense to want your customer to feel that way. Whereas using kratom in a lesser form or a more form, has two different solid effects and can honestly get you off of some chemicals and get rid of some of the bullshit that you're dealing with, and like Suboxone and heroin and it's awful. That's cool, Dave. I'm glad you're here, bud. I'm glad you made it at all. You can always catch the replay. That's the best part of it. But you're here now, and that's what matters. And we're all enjoying it. I'm glad to have you here, bud. I really am. But yeah, kratom, man. We have helped we've sold so much kratom, Jesus, and we've helped so many people who have told us repeatedly that they're literally off, Suboxone, and they're literally off heroin, and anything they use to wean themselves off of it. That this has been something that's been constant for them, and then when they was ready to be done with kratom, they just quit. And really, it had no real effect on them other than the ritual of putting it in the orange juice, shaking the orange juice up, watching it turn damn near black, drinking it down, getting through the taste, and going about their day and being able to make it through one more day without that bullshit chemical. And so I just will never forget those stories, man. I will never forget, because we had a store right there by Barrett Avenue, on Barrett Avenue, that in Louisville, and right down from it was a healing place center, and they would go there and get their Suboxone, or their other management, product, and if you didn't have the money, man, of course they wasn't going to give it to you. If your insurance didn't carry it, didn't cover it, you had to have cash to get it. And so when they couldn't, they could come to us and they could get it, our kratom, and it'd be a hell of a lot cheaper than their dosage for the day. And they told us, hey, after a while, man, I got to where I liked how I felt better on this than I did with this. I didn't feel so run down and swung into the bottom. So they kept buying the kratom, which is really kind of what elevated us to the kratom status that we are in our county today. And I see Kava, making a big surge too, within the industry. In my last show, David, what you were talking about with Kava, I saw them. There's more shots, more Kava shots or more stuff like Kava, and so I think we're going to start seeing more of that out there. That HHC man, I was shown an article. Brandon showed me an article. Sorry, y'all, got dry there. He showed me an article where HHC might not be legal at all. In all honesty, you know, and they're apparently trying to get clarification that it falls under some 1970 something, law or agreement with other countries that and how it's derived. And so I would have to read more into that, but I don't know, man. We may see the end of that pretty quick as well. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not telling you the future's bleak, but I will say that the future's different, and it's going to be remarkably different, and I can see it coming. And I really believe that we are about to see the return of the old school head shop, and we're about to see more of the way it was, not the way it is. And when that happens, I think you'll start seeing a war of attrition where the stores will just kind of disappear, and there'll only be a few here and there. And it kind of is what it is, like it used to be, Dave said, is there a good dry herb vape that's not at as pricey as PAX prices? Maybe. I mean, yeah. I mean, I would have to look around for that. You better just carry them at that price range. I mean, PAX is pretty popular. That's a popular product. We have some vaporizers, there, and Ooze makes a really good vaporizer that we have. And I would tell you this right here in a heartbeat. I would have no problem because Ooze, the Brink here comes in a variety of colors, and it's a really really good product, man. We sell a lot of this. You can get online, and Brandon will probably leave a link there where you can go right to it. He's showing it to you now, as a matter of fact. And this is a product we sell a lot of. So is it great? Well, if they're reordering it, man, and at that price point, yeah, yeah, that's a pretty decent product, everybody. So that may be something you want to look into. You know, you get on there and create an account, and if you don't already have one, and you can pick me or Brandon or Grover, and we between us, man, I mean, we've got several solid years of experience in this industry, man, and we will not do you wrong. I won't shit you in any way. It is what it is, but we will definitely tell you the facts. And I honestly, so I don't know if any of you all know this. At my wholesale, we only sell in my stores what's at my wholesale. So if it's not at the wholesale, we don't sell it in my stores because I know where that product comes from. I know the product's solid. And if it's not, I know who to see about it, and I don't have to have any issues about it. So if we carried it in my stores, you could probably carry it in yours and feel pretty safe about it. But that's where I would go with it, David, in all honesty. Because I like all the ooze vaporizers. Danny and that bunch over there, they stand behind their product, and they make a very solid product. And we're proud to carry them in the warehouse. And I sell a lot of them in the stores. So I'll have to say that. So any other questions before I get off here, ladies and gentlemen? It's that type of day. I have had a super busy day, and I've been doing a little bit of research on alternative financing. So you can kind of start looking for a video about that, because I get asked a whole lot about, hey, Chad, banks won't loan money to me. Hey, Chad, what am I going to do? Credit cards are harder to come by. And a lot of, companies now want cash, which I know that's a fact. That's a fact. Uh, Dave says back to the ways that real smoke shops are coming up. Product knowledge, finna start separating. Yeah, that's a fact. They are fixing to start separating. That's exactly right. But yeah, I'm getting ready to do a finance video, man. I've been talking to some people this past week, and I've learned a lot about finance. And that's going to be a good time, I think. Also, I've got a smoke shop workshop coming up next month, and should any of you first year, second year, third year people want to get involved in that, I may be able to make room for you, one or two spots, But if you're looking for that, hit me up. And I saw Joe. I saw what you said. Uh, yeah, just look it up. And my thought on Blue Lotus, I sell a lot of Blue Lotus, man. Our Blue Lotus vapes and stuff like that. We sell a lot of Blue Lotus products. I think that any kind of nootropic product like that is going to be the second coming for the whole TCA issue and disposable issues. We are selling a tremendous amount of this stuff, and I sell more every single day. So we constantly keep that in. If you're looking for that, Brandon's showing that right there as well. And we're hoping that that'll be something that really, because I'm not going to buy a hemp license for this low dose hemp crap, because I know people are not going to buy that. I know the stores that are going to carry it are going to have to they're going to have to sell a ton of it just to make their money back, because it's going to cost them $2,000, $2,500 to get a license just to sell it. And then, once people's had 15,000, 20,000, 30,000, milligram gummy, how are they going to go back down to 10 milligrams? How are they going to do that? And it even matter? They're not. They're not going to matter. They're not going to do it. So why even bother selling it? I mean, you may as well be just giving them gummies at that point. So if you don't have something that's alternative to the hemp products, I think you're hit. So I really do think that's going to be something. Is that Zero Alphabet Blue Lotus does that? Does yes. Oh God, Dip Top, yes. Yeah. Yes. I mean, I've got guys that cannot sell it in any form and fashion, and they constantly buy it. And it's THC free, no hemp in it whatsoever. And man, do we sell a lot of that. It's kind of crazy. I would have thought that wouldn't have went over as well, but yeah, yeah, doing pretty well. No letters, just Blue Lotus. Really cool. Right there's the test on it. And of course it's got a QR code, so of course you can get the test. It also, I think you can download them on the website, on the our wholesale website, where you can see it and check for yourself, see how much you like it. And if it's something you want to deal with, there it is. you know, Hit me up, hit Grover up, hit Brandon up. We'll be glad to sell it to you. Uh, all the boys there are really good salespeople. And really, man, we've just got a lot of knowledge in this industry, and I like to think that we all care about our customers more than we do the bottom line. And I like to really be a part of that, and that kind of tickles me that we can do that. Uh, well, our state laws, changing laws, will increase the sale of that product. Well, let me hook you up, my friend. I'll be glad to have that in your store Tuesday morning, unless you want to drive down here, and I'll wait on you tomorrow. And you can pick that up from the warehouse today. Tonight, I'll drive up there tonight. What the hell? I don't mind. I'll have to have Bella drive me because I've been drinking. So, but I will get that for you. I promise. And if you do need that, no joke, place your order. I'll get it out to you. And even if you just want to try it out and get a small order, not a big deal. I'll get that out just as if it was $1 million order. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. We'd be glad to help you with it. All right. Okay. All right, guys. So we're coming up on the hour, and we've been doing this. I still got to put in a couple of orders, and I've got a couple of things I've got to get done with this. And it's been a long day, and we've had several new products come in and pallets come in, so we've been dealing with that. And yeah, thanks, Beth. Yeah, it is fast turnaround. If you pay, it ships. I swear, because we owned shops before we owned the wholesale. And I know what it means to have your money sitting out there for a week and you can't turn it. I know what that means. And that sucks. What's the feeling of the Blue Lotus? Well, I mean, much like a THC alternative. It's much like a hemp based Delta alternative. And the same people order it over and over, and so they're definitely selling it. We're selling it at our stores, and we still have Delta products here in Kentucky. We still have Delta products, and we're still selling it in the stores. So that's a plus. All right, everybody, I'm gonna close it out if that's gonna be about it. Don't forget, y'all. Still got this book out here. It's an international bestseller on Amazon. If you're bored and looking for something to read on a slow day at the shop, there you have it right there. You can even get it on Kindle. It'd be much cheaper. But we are selling quite a few of those. I do not carry those in Chadway TV. So you must buy it on Amazon because it's print on demand. And if you'll bring them to the show, and because I'm going to be there, if it's in Vegas, I'm going to be there. I'm also going to be at the Chicago show this time, being sponsored to be there. So if you're going to be at Champs in Chicago, I am going to be there, and I'm definitely going to be at the show in Vegas when it comes next. So you can look for us there. And if you bring it, I will sign it, and we can picture with it, whatever you want to do. And believe you me, I've had that happen to me before. So it's kind of embarrassing. I'd never get over having to sign those, but I'm more than happy to do it. But all right, guys, that's what I got, man. Please help a brother out, man, and support the channel any way you can. That'd be great. Look forward. There's going to be some new things coming, and we'll talk more about that in the future. If you need me at all, ask Chad Wade at gmail.com. We'll be glad to help you in any way. Hit me up, and if I can do anything for you, I will. All right, guys, that's what I got. I appreciate you in every single way. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. We'll do this in 2 weeks. Look for me. All right, y'all. See ya. Bye.